Get your money out of the market now. In this episode, I'm going to answer the question, how to create safe income streams for retirement. And you're going to learn some things here, why many Americans outlive their money because they don't think through the process before retirement to create predictable, safe income, cash flow, or streams. So get ready, put on your seatbelt. I'm going to blow you away. As a retirement planning specialist for more than 4.5 decades, I've helped so many people prepare for a comfortable retirement and make themselves immune from the 3 big dangers that erodes away most people's retirement nest eggs, causes them to outlive their money: taxes, inflation, and market volatility. So at retirement planning is something totally different than maybe what you did for your retirement planning. A lot of people sometimes just start working at a company and they participate in the company's 401k and they just have their blinders on their work. And then down the road, all of a sudden they go, oh, wow, look at this. I remember 2 physicians recently that came to me and they had $4.6 million in their IRAs of 401ks. And I go, you know what kind of a tax trap you've painted yourself into? And they go, yeah, we didn't think about that very well, did we? You know what their accountant said? Oh, they can afford to pay a lot of tax. They have the money. I said, well, let's ask them. I was able to save that couple $1.2 million of unnecessary tax. Money they really didn't need to pay in tax that they redirected to causes that they want to support for their children and grandchildren, for college educations, for family vacations for a purpose, humanitarian missions, religious missions, into perpetuity instead of just kissing it goodbye down the drain in unnecessary tax. I'm a red-blooded American. I think we should all pay our fair share of tax. They were paying way more than their fair share, and they opted to redirect a portion of it to causes they support. I'm going to show you how. So as a tax minimization specialist, I usually like to help people at least 5 years before they retire start to reposition their assets. So many times when people would come to me, I would look at their situation because they knew they had to start doing something and thinking about how they're going to retire. And so that's when they would contact me because I had a reputation of helping people at retirement. Because what you do at retirement is something totally different than maybe what you did for retirement. See, most people accumulate their money in tax-deferred accounts like IRAs and 401ks in the market. No more than 30% of your money should be in the market when you retire. I would say no more than 30% of your money, and ideally none of your money, should be yet to be taxed in IRAs or 401ks. And yet what happens with most Americans? They take money out of their IRAs and 401ks the rest of their life in minimum distributions, and they pay tax forever instead of getting the taxes over and done with sooner than later. And so these are called strategic rollouts. But I remember one couple that came to me, and they were so proud because they had several $1 million they had saved. And they calculated that their IRAs and 401ks and the like would generate about $160,000 a year of income on top of a defined benefit pension or maybe their Social Security. So they felt comfortable they would have $200,000 a year of retirement income. And I said, way to go, high five. But I said, there's one problem. They go, well, what's that? I said, well, all 200,000 of this income is showing up on the front page of your 1040 tax return every year the rest of your life. And they went, is there another way? Yeah. And they went, well, where have you been? I said, I've been here all along. You had your blinders on. So I had to sort of cure their dis-ease. See, when you're not at ease physically, we call that dis-ease. I had to cure their dis-ease because they were not at ease financially, because all of a sudden they realized that they were going to be paying tax forever on that $200,000 of income. Long story short, we started to reposition money because they, like most Americans, were way too top heavy in what I call the investment bucket, money in yet to be taxed IRAs and 401ks in the market. Wall Street was never designed to create predictable retirement income. If you ask Wall Street, okay, when is the best time for me to start taking money out of the market? And they will say, never. It was built to never take money out. It's too volatile. They cannot create predictable cash flow. So I recommend most people start doing a strategic rollout, get the taxes over and done with sooner than later, and get it out of the market. We did that in 5 years. And guess what? After 5 years, that couple only had $80,000 a year showing up on their 1040 tax return. What happened to the other 120? They're still receiving it, but it's tax-free. The IRS knows they're receiving it, but the IRS knows, oh, that's not earned passive or portfolio income. It's not taxable. It's not a loophole. If you have income that is not earned passive or portfolio income, okay? Earned income when you go out and earn it. Most retirees aren't still earning money, but they have passive income, rents and leases, or portfolio income, interest and dividends, usually coming out of the market, or IRAs and 401ks. Those will be taxed forever. If you have income that is not one of those three types, there's nowhere on a tax return to report it because it's been tax-free ever since 1986 tax reform, okay? I'm a specialist in helping people minimize tax. What that meant was that on that $120,000 we got off of their tax return, they would have paid a third of that in tax forever had they not come to visit with me. That's 40 grand. One of them will likely live 25 years. 25 years times 40,000. We saved them $1 million right off the top with that one. But we actually saved them another couple of million in tax along the way. Let me share with you how and why. You see, most people, when they retire, have their money in the market, as I said, and it's yet to be taxed. If you stay with me to the end of this episode, you're going to be able to learn how to avoid that, how to dramatically lessen your tax. If you're already getting some insights here, share this episode, subscribe to Three Dimensional Wealth channel. I post tons of answers to questions like this almost daily. There's an answer to a specific question because I'm passionate about empowering you. So stay with me to the end because I want to give you a special gift. Now, a lot of people, they are way too top heavy in this yet to be taxed investment bucket. There's three other buckets that most people draw from at retirement. Some people have real estate. If the only piece of real estate that you have is your house, that's fine. Other people have rental income real estate. But I would recommend that no more than about 30% of your retirement income come from that bucket, your real estate. Now, sometimes people say, well, golly, this is what I thought my retirement was going to be, but they're the first to admit that they are really tired of managing that real estate property, evicting those tenants who aren't current with their rent, and taking out the trash and fixing the toilets and all that kind of stuff. Most people either want to have a management company take over, which might be expensive, and sometimes they run them into the ground. I have horror stories about people who have done that, and they have embezzled hundreds of thousands of dollars. So many people, they actually sell the real estate. They bite the bullet. They pay the capital gain, and they take the net and put it into my favorite vehicle called the Laser Fund. That's the title of the book I'm going to gift you at the end here. They are shocked because the Laser Fund ends up generating as much or more tax-free cash flow than their real estate investments were generating even after tax. And they go, where have you been? I wish I could, you mean, I don't have to worry about all this real estate anymore and I'm earning as good or better rate of return? Yes. You wouldn't believe how many people, for example, in California, that have real estate, 5-bedroom homes that they bought, 45, 50 years ago for $250,000, $300,000, and now they're worth $4.8 million. And they're renting them out for 10 grand a month, and they think that is good. And I look at them and I go, that's pathetic. $10,000 a month is $120,000 a year. Divide $120,000 a year into $4.8 million. You're getting a pathetic 2.5% rate of return. I've had people who wanted to stay in real estate sell that house, build one twice that size in another location, and they bought 12 homes for $300,000, 5-bedroom homes that are newer, better homes in Memphis and Orlando, and they rent out for 1% a month. A 5-bedroom home in Memphis rents out for $3,000 a month, which is a 1% a month or 12% annual return instead of 2.5%. But many people just don't want to be a landlord anymore, so they take the net and they put it into the laser fund, and this is where they manage their money. The laser fund earns 6, 8, 10%. Some years I've earned 16, 25, 55%. But I like to be conservative. If you had $1 million nest egg that you got from the rollout of IRAs or 401ks or out of the real estate bucket, $1 million can generate $80,000 to $100,000 a year of tax-free income for as long as you live. Now, there's another bucket we call the guaranteed bucket. What's that? The guaranteed bucket might be money that you're going to get in Social Security benefits, which most people think is sort of a guaranteed income. Well, yeah, hopefully if the government doesn't, go under. But it might be a defined benefit pension if you taught school or you worked for a company that had a defined benefit pension. If you do not have one of those two sources, then guaranteed income might come in the form of an annuity that will guarantee a set amount of income to age 120, even if the annuity runs out of money at age 85. There's annuities that actually can do that. But I would recommend either zero, and if you're super conservative, no more than up to 80% of your money be in the guaranteed bucket. That is based upon your risk tolerance. That's not where I put my money. Where I put my serious cash, where I would recommend 40 to 60% of your money at retirement. That's why you need to start rolling money out of the IRAs and 401ks maybe 5 years earlier. And it's the tax-free bucket. The tax-free bucket, you might have municipal bonds in there, but municipal bonds, a lot of municipalities are filing bankruptcy. They're being run poorly. I would not recommend municipal bonds. I've always earned a rate of return of 2 to 3% higher interest on my laser fund than municipal bonds. And I think they're far safer. Roths accumulate your money tax-free. You can only access the money tax-free. But do you know that most people who have their money in the investment bucket in IRAs and 401ks only earn at best 6%? But because they buy and sell at the wrong times, the average retiree in America is only earning 3.5%. You can do better than that. My laser fund, my favorite tax-free bucket, has been earning 6, 8, 10% rates of return. Every million can generate $80,000 a year of income if you live to be 120 without depleting principal. Many times by using two strategies, rebalancing, and what are called indexed loans, we've had people on $1 million in their insurance contract experience $100,000 a year of tax-free cash flow. How much better is $100,000 than $40,000, which is what you would luckily net out of money in the market in an IRA or 401k? And you have to pay tax on it. It's volatile. Folks, you need to learn how to empower yourself to do a strategic conversion from the yet to be taxed bucket in the market and eliminate the dangers of taxes by moving to tax-free. Create safety, get your money out of the market so that you get to have good growth without the risk when the market goes down. And by doing that, you will have not only a greater rate of return, but you will have a much greater income for as long as you live. So here's how you can learn about the Laser Fund. I've been blessed in my life to have authored 11 books so far. Many of them have been bestsellers, won a New York Times Wall Street Journal #1 bestseller in 2007. My most recent book, The Laser Fund, is flying off of our warehouse shelves. This is actually 2 books in one for left-brainers and right-brainers. This side is 200 pages with 14 chapters that have all kinds of charts and graphs that will help you understand how to diversify and create the foundation for a tax-free retirement with my favorite vehicle, which I call the Laser Fund. Laser is an acronym that stands for Liquid Asset Safely Earning Returns. Now, if you learn more by stories and examples, you flip over to this book. It's 2 books in one. This is about 100 pages, 12 chapters, and it has all kinds of stories of how the Laser Fund can be used for financial goals, not only retirement, maybe college savings for your children and grandchildren, real estate working capital for a business, emergency funds, lump sums, all kinds of goals. And so go to laserfund.com, Laser fund.com, and contribute a nominal amount towards the shipping and handling. I'll cover the rest of that expense, and I will pay for the book and fire it out to you. There's also options there for audio and video if you like to listen and learn and watch and learn.